Hi, Gan Avraham friends. I want to read one of my favorite Passover books today. This one's called The Matzah Man, a Passover story by Naomi Howland. Inside Mr. Cohen's bakery, the racks were filled with Passover matzah. The baker rolled out his last scraps of dough. He added a little bit here and a pinch there and shaped a little man. He pricked the dough all over, popped it into the oven, and closed the door. Mr. Cohen was busy cleaning up when suddenly he smelled the matzah almost burning. He hurried to the oven and opened the door, but the minute he did, that pizza matzah jumped out and said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." And off that rascal ran, around the sacks of flour, between the legs of the baker, and right out the door. "Stop, Matzah Man," cried Mr. Cohen, and he began to chase the little Matzah Man. Through the village they raced. A red hen spied the little Matzah Man, crisp and crackly, running by. The Matzah Man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Stop, Matzah Man," clucked the red hen. "You would make a tasty treat for my new little chickens." Matzah Man looked at the red hen, stuck his nose in the air, and said, "I've run for the baker whose matzah is best, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he went pell-mell over the fence. There he goes. Cousin Tilly was sampling her tender Passover brisket when the toasty little Matzah Man rushed past her door. The Matzah Man teased her, saying, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Stop, Matzah Man," called Cousin Tilly. "You'd be the perfect mouthful with my delicious brisket." But did he stop? The little Matzah Man waggled his finger at Cousin Tilly and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." And that little scamp raced off down the road. Auntie Bertha was out shopping in her brand new shoes. She saw the crunchy Matzah Man running right toward her. The Matzah Man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Oh, please stop, Matzah Man," cooed Auntie Bertha. "You would look just adorable on our Passover table." The little Matzah Man made a rude face at Auntie Bertha and boasted, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old Cousin Tilly with her brisket-filled pan, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." Blah, 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 blah. And he scooted around the corner. I had to look closely in this picture, but you see them approaching the corner. Grandpapa Sully was chopping onions for his special Passover gefilte fish. The onions were making him cry, but he could still see the Matzah Man through his tears. The Matzah Man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Stop, Matzah Man," cried Grandpapa Sully. "You'd be a delectable nosh with this gefilte fish." The little Matzah Man put his hands on his hips and bragged, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he sped across the bridge, with everybody following after. He looks so happy. Miss Axelrod was dropping the last matzo ball into her chicken soup when the brown little Matzah Man ran past. He shouted, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." That little Matzah Man has such chutzpah that he said, I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran. Then Grandpapa Sully from onions he's crying, and canoodle, 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 I'll run away from you too. And zippity-zip, away he went. A gray goat was pulling tender young radishes out of the garden when he noticed the tasty little Matzah Man. The Matzah Man stamped his foot and said proudly, "Hot from the oven I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Stop, Matzah Man," bleated the goat. "I would like to have a bite of you." The little Matzah Man laughed and said, "Ha! I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest. From old cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran. Then Grandpapa Sully from onions he's crying, and from his axle-rod matzo balls flying, and canoodle, 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 I'll run away from you too." And he hurried past the goat. Just at that moment, young Mendel Fox came to the door of his house. "Oi, what a commotion!" Let me move me out of the way. Mendel saw the little Matzah Man running down the road, chased by the gray goat, Miss Axelrod, Grandpapa Sully, Auntie Bertha, Cousin Tilly, the red hen, and Mr. Cohen the baker. The Matzah Man looked back over his shoulder and panted, "Hot from the oven I jumped and ran, so clever and quick. I'm the Matzah Man." Whew. "Stop, Matzah Man," Mendel said. "I'll help you. Hide behind me." So the Matzah Man flattened himself behind Mendel. Here's the Seder table all set behind him. "Oh, they're getting closer," Mendel shouted. "Hurry, get behind the cushion." So the Matzah Man covered himself with a pillow. I'm in the way again. Whee! "Oh, no, that won't work. I can still see you," cried Mendel. "They're coming up the steps. Quick, hide here." So the Matzah Man jumped up on the table and slipped beneath the matzah cover. I love this picture, so let me move me one more time. Mr. Cohen looked around. "Did you see a piece of matzah run this way?" he asked. Mendel just shrugged. Miss Axelrod peeked under the table. The red hen picked up the cushion on Grandpapa Sully's chair. No one could find the Matzah Man. So one by one, the tired guests plopped down in their seats and reclined comfortably. "Let's begin the Seder," said Mendel. He handed his grandfather the plate of matzah. Grandpapa Sully reached under the matzah cover. Snap! The matzah was broken. The plate was passed around the table. "Tasty matzah," said the gray goat between bites. Now the horseradish was making Grandpapa Sully cry. He nibbled a piece of matzah. So crunchy and delicious," he said through his tears. "The best matzah we ever ate," agreed Cousin Tilly, Auntie Bertha, and Miss Axelrod. The red hen pecked at her matzah. "Crispy." Mr. Cohen smiled. Everybody ate a piece of matzah except for Mendel Fox. He had 2 pieces. And that was the end of the Matzah Man. And that was the end of the story. I'll give you a second to admire all the details in the picture. Well, I was going to bring it back to my face, but I can't find where to do that. So I will say goodbye from here. Until next time, gone friends. Be well.